I think a surprisingly quality film is 1993's The Fugitive, starring Harrison Ford, directed by one Andrew Davis, photographed by the legendary Michael Chapman, who's known for photographing Taxi Driver and Raging Bull in particular for Scorsese. I say surprisingly good just because it kind of is what it is. It's not like we know Andrew Davis is a particularly able filmmaker. We can imagine this film, a retelling of a 1960s television series, which, while a well received television series and one which permeated throughout popular culture, the idea of the one armed man, even prior to this film's release, had been referenced in Twin Peaks, for example. I know that much at least. And so, when we get time for the 1990s, a kind of a time which kind of has gotten mocked in hindsight. Hollywood's been, in the 1990s, has been mocked in hindsight for adapting older television programs. And yet this is quite an admired film. It was well received at the time, and watching it now, it's extremely well executed for what it is. The motifs are interesting. The motif of the one-armed man is kind of brilliant, creepy, and mysterious all at once. There's something very, very. I mean, it's no wonder that David Lynch kind of wish he came up with it in a sense, and so incorporated into Twin Peaks. I appreciate Andreas Katsoulis, who I know as playing Jakar in Babylon 5. He portrays the one-armed man, and it's probably his best-known work outside of Babylon 5. Very cool. It's one of these things where we're consistently, well, I don't know if I'm surprised here again, but Harrison Ford, very effective leading man. Obviously, we all love Han Solo, we all love Indiana Jones, we all think Blade Runner's a phenomenal film, but then you forget he's a genuinely effective leading man in one of these kind of otherwise run-of-the-mill thrillers. He's very engaging and believable. I found this to be the case also there's this probably a superior film over a more contentious film due to its filmmaker, and understandably so, but Polanski's Frantic I also always thought was an extraordinarily effective film, somewhat, well, I say adjacent to The Fugitive. It's a thriller, but of a different variety. The Fugitive doesn't quite have the, I don't know, European class, if you will, of Frantic, but nevertheless, it's a fantastic, straightforward American pulp. I might go so far as to say silly as all hell, jumping off of the waterfall and surviving, but nevertheless, it makes you want to ignore that.